Hi, I'm Alex Dursick, and today I'm going to be talking about the 6 principles of andragogy and how I'm going to use them in my next video. The 6 concepts of andragogy include the learner's need to know, the self-concept of the learner, the prior experience of the learner's readiness to learn, the learner's orientation to learning, and the learner's motivation to learn. So first I'm going to go over what these mean. So first, the learners need to know. This is where adults just want to know what they're learning and why they're learning it before they are going to learn. Self-directed just means that adults are independent and they want to be able to learn these things on their own and not be walked through it, baby steps with their handheld. Experience is when adults come into the classroom and they have so much knowledge to bring to the table and they're allowed to use this knowledge to help them figure out what we're learning next and how to build on it. Readiness means that adults come ready to learn and they want to be able to apply this to a real life concept. Orientation is when adults are motivated to learn through problem-based learning. And then motivation, the learners are intrinsically motivated, which means that there's no prize at the end or a good grade or bad grade that they have to perform well. They just want to do well for themselves, have a higher self-esteem, and have a higher satisfaction with themselves. So the lesson that I'm going to be teaching is fractions. So to go along with our 6 principles of andragogy, our first question is, why do we need to learn about fractions? Fractions are important because they tell you what part of a whole you have, what you need, or what you might want. Fractions build off of division, which we already know, but more importantly, we're going to be talking about comparing fractions. So we are building our knowledge based off of what we just did, which was fractions, learning about the numerator, denominator, and what they are. This also will help you build on your knowledge for your next grade levels, math, and building off of your knowledge of fractions to the next level. Comparing fractions can tell us things such as how much time has passed by, how much time we have left, or if we're taking a test, it'll tell us how many we got right compared to how many we got wrong. Our second concept is student self-discovery. During this lesson, an idea that I would have is having 2 fraction circles and allowing students to compare them. They can draw the same amount of pieces and then color in a different amount, show the numerator, denominator, and explain which fraction is bigger or smaller. Then we will do the same thing but opposite, which is having a different amount of pieces in each whole, but then coloring in the same amount. So then students can discover on their own that when fractions have the same denominator but a different numerator, the bigger numerator will be the bigger fraction. And then when there is a fraction that has the same numerators but different denominators, the smaller denominator will be the larger fraction. So this is self-discovery. They can discover this on their own, and then we will talk about it as a class for the students that might not have got that. Third is prior knowledge. This is where students will think to themselves, what have we used fractions before? What other math concept relates to fractions? We've talked about fractions, just what they are, numerators, denominators, things like that. And then we have also done division, which is related to fractions directly. Fractions are just one big division problem. We can also talk about things that students have done in real life that involve fractions without them realizing it, such as comparing how much time we have been in something compared to how much time is left. We can talk about time as a fraction. So having 1/2 hour is 1/2 of the hour. And then we also have quarters of an hour. So when it's 1/4 till, that's 3/4 of an hour. So comparing fractions but maybe just 1/4 of an hour compared to 1/2 of an hour. 4 is applying this to the real world. So in the real world, we use comparing fractions in a variety of ways. If you go out to eat with your friends and you split the bill up equally, you actually are comparing your fractions because it's divided equally, so all the fractions are equal. You can also compare a test score that you took at the beginning of a unit compared to the end of the unit if it's the same amount of points. You could do, if you got 5 out of 10 on the first one and then 9 out of 10 on the second one, you will know that you did better on the second one because the numerator is higher. Again, we can also go back to the concept of telling time, knowing how much time has passed and how much we still have left. In order to make this unit more problem-centered, I would have students work in groups and compare something such as toppings on a pizza. This pizza would have 1/3 mushrooms and this pizza would have 1/2 mushrooms. They can compare which one has more mushrooms and less mushrooms and create their own pizzas and compare the toppings on those. This lesson can be intrinsically motivating through giving praise throughout the lesson, such as great job, you're doing good, or just giving more critical feedback to help them build confidence and tell them, oh, I really like how you did this, but let's work on this instead, so they will know that they are still doing something right and build upon that confidence, rather than at the end, if they're understanding it, giving something like candy, prizes, stickers. They'll be more motivated to do things if those things are offered at the end, or even just something that's graded. But if we just write a star at the top of their paper and say great job, then they will know that they did a great job and want to do that again and feel that way again and build confidence. So that is how I would incorporate the 6 principles of andragogy into a comparing fractions lesson or unit. Thanks for watching. In order to make this unit more problem-centered, I would have students work in groups and compare something such as toppings on a pizza. This pizza would have 1/3 mushrooms and this pizza would have 1/2 mushrooms. They can compare which one has more mushrooms and less mushrooms and create their own pizzas and compare the toppings on those.